Anita Among has a higher chance to be retained as the Speaker of Parliament. It is continuing to show that even her competitors are now coming out to say that they cannot defeat him. If the SEC has not come out to endorse anyone. In a video that was done by Chisitu, one of the best, by the way, moderator, one of the contender, Florence, came out to say this. Listen very carefully because it's going to form a basis of our discussion. Here is Deb.
Singa wakulekera Anita Among ogende naye mu kalulu nga tekuliko backing ya SEC na buli kimu gwomusobola. Do you know her abilities?
Ekikulu ekituufu kiri nti sijja musobola kubanga ina sente sizirina siyita sente era nagambye ababaka temusuubira Florence kuba negigengino.
So, first of all, that is Florence, who was also running as the Speaker of Parliament. One thing for sure is, if the SEC doesn't influence any decision and the election is left for contenders to pursue votes in Parliament, nobody can unseat Anita Among. Because Anita Among understood two principles in politics. He knows how to use money. I've never seen a Speaker of Parliament who knows the ability to influence by use of money. I've not seen any. Second, he knows how to play politics. I remember when Anita Among was in FDC, when he gave birth, he named his child Kiza Besigye. That's a way of building loyalty. When he crossed to NRM and he built a school, very many dormitories, buildings were named after General Museveni's family, just to create influence. But also, when he got in the speakership and amassed a lot of wealth, he knows how to share it among members of Parliament in the way of course, by bribing. Okay? And if you find very many members of Parliament, especially those from within the NRM, at the right price, they can even sell their parents. So it is true that when this election is not influenced by the SEC, nobody can seat Anita Among. Is she a better speaker? Of course not. Anita Among is the worst speaker to ever happen in Uganda. He interjects in the debate, is partisan, is petty. Sometimes, even if a member of Parliament raises up to talk some uncomfortable things for her, he will come out to shut him up. Yet, in debate, if you are Speaker of Parliament, if you give someone time, allow him exhaust his time so that you can come back and roll. Don't interject in debate. And those things don't happen when his deputy Taewa is presiding over the House. Okay? Coupled with sanctions, etc. So, Anita Among is not the best speaker. He's the worst speaker to ever happen to Uganda. But in a election which is not influenced by General Kaguta Museveni, nobody can come close to her. Even competitors know it. Let me continue showing you this video.
Aina sente nyingi ate yabaguze dda.
So togenda kumusobola kuba
naye nze ngenda
yaguze dda abaka Parliament.
Bonna yabaguze dda.
Yawadde sente mmeka?
Million 10.
You on TV. And you're making big allegations, by the way. Wazifunyeko? 10
nze nakufunako 5.
Gwena wali mulesa ate wafuna ku sente.
Ku bino bya omanyi bwe yakola abesimbawo mu NRM. Nga bali mu primaries.
Mpulira bulungi.
Yabaweezanga million 5.
Bonna abafuna kadi ya NRM.
Basooka nga banoonya bunoonya awo. Abanamuwagira.
So, you clearly see the influence of money. It was futuristic. In the NRM primaries, you had to support candidates. And that's how money works. He did it in a futuristic way. People were going in election to give them some money. If it is 10 million, by the way, I counted he may have spent more than 2 billion shillings just in NRM primaries because of being futuristic. Because the wealth he amassed is using it in the right direction to gather influence. In fact, if he was a man, he was even to be a threat to General Kaguta Museveni. So that is the contender coming out to speak. In fact, this member of Parliament, Florence, has a good sense of humor. I've watched him several times during debate, during interviews. She has a great sense of humor. I will interest myself to see more interviews, but let's continue with the video.
Kati waona nze
mwe yawana yakuwa
wasoka yamba kwanza yaita tampagira
amongo
yaita mpagira kati abantu naba milioni 5 nenkimanyako ne mwandike ne mugamba nyabo kana ulida bebunyoro wabantu bono waba wadde abana tebafuna yalondanga mu bawa nze tonga ngezange zabuliddewa nga mwandikira message
kusimu
kusimu nangamba zikuweze kusimu tiaziwereza kakati yagenda okulaba nga nfunye bendera yale mayinti sigenda kutakona yaita nduze yete yakibusama
kali wafuna bendera
nafuna bendera nagenda kukola akasimu nga si yako aina ba agents yekubanga si yate
amonga aina ba agents
bakozesa conduit nagenda kulaba nga bankubira nti wange tulina milioni zo 5 wano nengamba kati mwe muzijukira kubanga nfunye bendera bwe muzijukira nga muziteke ko
You see, that's how Anita Among plays president. And in fact, he got the playbook from General Kaguta Museveni. One of the three things General Kaguta Museveni has used to lead over us for this long, one is intimidation. He can use force, imprisonment, etc. If people don't feel threatened, they can be given money, place, free money, positions, etc. 3 is sweet talking to people. And Anita and Among go to those attributes. Of course, they are just scanning. You know, there is nothing bad like a person who is scanning. And that technique doesn't produce better speakers. After the 2021 generation, when Anita and Among was running as a deputy speaker together with Taiwa, they used a lot of money, but of course Taiwa had more money than Anita and Among, so he had a leverage until Anita Among removed a card from her sleeve of gender. A gender card is the one that dismantled Thomas Taiwo. So it is true, competitors know that they cannot defeat her because of those things, despite being a bad speaker. So the purpose of this video, I've come to talk about the rest of the speakership, what it means for our politics, and most importantly, the studies we can learn from the politics of our nation. But before I do this, I want to let you know that if you're into this channel, please subscribe. And if you're watching this video from a different platform, please head on to YouTube, type in Sula Mawagari. There's a lot of content of this nature. If geopolitics and economics is what you want, this will be definitely the right channel for you to subscribe to. First of all, let me first thank the moderator of the show, Chisitu. He's one of the best moderators if you look around in Uganda. Just that he has not been given one of the biggest platform in the country, but trust me, he knows how to moderate shows. There are not very many moderators who can moderate that show. In fact, let me also add you a clip when he was moderating Honorable Florence, so that you can know that Speaker Anita Among has an upper hand. Let's continue.
Kadwasiba ku muntu yakugula
akati ati singa nakiriza singa nkomawo nali bade ngamba sibu
ongambye yagula abaka ba parliament milioni 10 yasoka ba wako 5 kweze 5 naye wazifuna eseza toli mu esimbu wali sente zine yogena mu esimbako
simu esimbu kubanga kikiya kitegeeza nzifunye njala kulaga nto okugula abantu kibi
ogena
kwesimbeko
ndamumpulire sente za Mongo
nazirya yazimpa nezirya nga nfunye bendera kuba yasoka kuzinyema
very good
yasoka kuzinyema
naye ate
bwe nafune bendera nalyo kanzijukira
naye ate ogenda kumwesimba ko omulage nti
onze nobompa sente tekiteki.
So that is the clip of Honorable Florence. So one thing for sure, Anita Among has more chances. The only person that can flip the card is General Kaguta Museveni. Any person he endorses will be speaker, because General Kaguta Museveni holds the ultimate card. When it's because of money he can, when it's because of power he can. And for me, I see two things. One of the reasons as to why even General Museveni may retain Anita Among is to hold her at ransom. Because Anita Among has sanctions. Truth is, evidence came out on the floor of Parliament under Joe Sonyonyi when there are a lot of corruption deals in Parliament. So General Kaguta Museveni normally uses those people to hold them at ransom so that they can pass anything. It is the reason why Anita Among will pass anything for as long as it comes from General Kaguta Museveni. He has ever come out to say that. Does it mean that other speakers didn't? Of course they did, but they had to put out some reasoning. Kadaga passed each and everything that General Museveni brought, but of course he has to put out reasons, okay, do some negotiations, etc. Anita Among doesn't do that. So General Museveni will retain her at that basis. In fact, if he decides not to pass anything, the same things can be used against her to take her to prison. So it is true that money, when it comes to money, in 2021 it was the first time money was introduced in the speakership race. That's why the leadership of Parliament is so transactional. How can you tell me that it is when you are speaker, you amass a lot of wealth in billions when you don't have a factory, when you don't have tools for production? I've had a chance to be in organizations that manufacture, that have businesses, having capital in billions when the return on investment and profits are slim. Yet a person joins our office barely 2 years and you see him building an empire in billions, with the evidence of tenders, etc. going to a particular person. So for me, I think Anita Among is the worst speaker, but it's going to retain the speakership because of those factors. And since General Museveni awards royalty and holding people at ransom to work for him, those are the very many reasons that he can be retained. In fact, the same member of Parliament, Madame Florence, continued to say this. Here's the tape.
Funa waliwo tiimu yo yebeera ku nnyonyi ono oba yakayingiranga na ndoze n'emigugu bagireka ne ku Parliament
waliwo abaka bafuna special treatment okusinga ku babaka abalala.
Okusosola okwo kwinjagala okujjawo
mulimu okusosola mu Parliament
amaanyi nnyo n'emirimu engeri gye bagibagabamu mu Parliament bodda ku by'abasaafu kubanga MP.
So first of all, Florence is also speaking the right thing. The way how jobs were given by the Parliamentary Commission, it is so subjective. Second, I remember under Rebecca Kadaga, the leader of opposition would hire his own staff. And Anita Among, since she is so petty, he took away that option. Yet ordinarily, I must be able to hire my own staff who do my work. I followed Parliament under Rebecca Kadaga. Travel budgets in the committee stage were sanctioned by the chairperson of those committees. In fact, Rebecca Kadaga, the travel budget was for various committees. We are decentralized so that the chairperson can do what is the person to give his member permission to travel. And Anita Among, travel budget is controlled by her so that he can leverage to control the house. He doesn't know how to administer Parliament. He doesn't know how to preside over the house. It is the truth. So these things for a long period of time were always said by the opposition. Now the NM members, since they are contesting, are coming out to speak to say this. Let's continue with the honorable member.
Akwatagana n'aba MPs akwata ne bya staff members katu recruitment procedure na
basobola kumuwa oba toli ku mugondi woli
kwegamba recruitment abantu kati bafunye emirimu tebategeera abamu tebalina na bipapula abali kwegamba ekiri ku Parliament yo ekiri mu Parliament ya 11C kyo tekyogerwako kubanga ebintu byonna bifu.
Olina obutakkaanya obuli personal ne Anita Among?
Sirina kubanga ye ng'omuntu sirina buzibu enkola.
So that is Honorable Florence. By the way, one of the things Anita Among has, I hear on a personal level, is so cunning, is so friendly, is a good person in person. I guess I have never interacted with her. Just that he's a poor administrator. He doesn't know how to lead people. He doesn't know how to preside over the house. And she's corrupt. It is the truth. In fact, go watch a house that is being presided over Anita Among and Thomas Taiwa. They are totally different. One he interjects so much, one is petty, one is emotional, one calls members by name, and another one may not be perfect, but at least he has some difference. So it is true, when it comes to the Speakership of Parliament, Anita Among is the worst. Although, since NRM is also doesn't reward competence, she has her chances of being retained. Of course, as my opinion, is truly Mr. Makindi Kabe Suleiman Magal. If you're into this channel, please subscribe, like, and comment so that I'm motivated to do more of such videos. I'll see you on another one. Peace.